I will put out a video a little later on what I've been learning behind the scenes from a beginner standpoint. I recently purchased the new Canon EOS R8. It's been fun. There's obviously a lot I don't know, so I don't really know the advantages of switching over to this rather than starting full on with a DSLR as I was filming with before. I came over from Canon T6 Rebel. Yeah. But I had to start somewhere before I wanted to really spend money on other things. All that to say, I will put out something a little later just talking about my experience thus far. But today we are actually going to do something a little different. I have no plan at all. And so I just figured in the interest of learning something new, I'm gonna bring back for 2 Minute Tuesday a tutorial. However, I don't know what I'm teaching because I'm gonna be pulling randomly a trick out of this. If you don't know who this is, then you don't know who this is. But essentially it's just a collection of just tips, tricks, little things you can learn with your hands, cards, other knickknacks. And I'm going to randomly flip through to a page. I have to learn whatever I land on. I won't say I have to master it, but I have to be somewhat decent. That's my goal. Today I have to learn something new while I'm learning something new. Typically around this time, I would throw in a montage for coffee. You know, I didn't even realize I was missing that until I said that. Now, typically it would be right here. I figured, we'll start here. This has to be truly random. This actually might be interesting. Let's bring the camera right back here. Gosh, this looks like a lot. It's all of this. Yeah, it's all of this, and then this next page. A shuffle deck of cards is cut in half. Performer participants each select a half and shuffle. Nope. Back to the drawing board. Okay. I think I can do this. Let's bring it back. Ooh, okay, nice. It's only this. And I think this will be a little easier to follow along. Okay, so a prediction is made and then the card is chosen by the random person. They're both turned over and a perfect prediction is revealed. I think I know how this one is done, but I'm still gonna go for it. If it's easy, it's easy. If it's hard, well then maybe here are a couple of days. Have the deck shuffled by the spectator. Number 2, write down the bottom card on a pad of paper. You know, I think I did something similar to this. Yeah, there's something similar like this in another tutorial I put out probably a couple months ago. Hold on. Okay, so 1, have the deck shuffled by the spectator. Done. Take the deck, scan through the cards as if looking for the one. You'll only need to note the bottom card, which for example, I shall use the 2 of hearts. Well, we shall use something different. So for me, it's the 6 of clubs. Essentially, it looks like the person shuffles it. I take it back. I go through the cards, but I'm actually just deceiving them and looking at this bottom card. Let's see what number 2 says. Write down the bottom card on a pad of paper and coffee. Look at this really old looking style of paper. 6 clubs. So I've written this. The deck is shuffled on the table. So they shuffled it. I look through it. I note the bottom card. I write this down, but I don't let them see it. As you turn the pad of paper down, clip the bottom card so that it leans away from the deck. As you do this, reach under the pad and take the lower card with the pad. Couple of things. I wrote this on a regular piece of paper. This might make it a little difficult. If you have an actual pad that's a bit of a harder surface, not gonna bend as flimsy as this, that's gonna work. If you have a book lying around, use it as a table, because I'll show you in a moment how he's directing us to do it. Use that as a surface to write on it, okay? So this is the setup for me. Once you have this written down, the goal is you actually have the deck in my right hand. So actually, you know what? Let me bring this back. I'm gonna run through this again because already there's a lot of things here that kind of don't make sense to me. So I'm actually we're still gonna keep this card, but essentially you have the deck, give it to the spectator, have them shuffle it a couple of times, and we're bringing this card back just to stay on theme here. So I look at the cards as if I'm trying to predict something, trying to guess, just take note of the bottom card. This is the 6 of clubs. Then I guess what I would do to make it natural, because he doesn't really give direction, he just kind of outlines the points of like, do this, and then you need this, and you need this, but he never really gives you a flow as to how to do it. To be as natural as possible, because you don't want to seem fishy, I guess what I would do is I would set this down on the table, right? And then I know it's a 6 of clubs, I'll write it down, 6 of clubs. Then what you need to do, and this is the part I'm gonna leave up for interpretation. Essentially, you need to get this card away from the rest of the deck, and you actually need to have it retained underneath your notepad, book, whatever it is. So the move that he actually recommends is clipping it. So you're actually gonna use your ring finger on whichever hand you're holding the deck. You're actually going to pull it away. It causes a gap. Now, what you need to do is, this is so weird. As you're turning, hold on. Yeah, okay, I got it now. This really does need to be a pad. You've got it here. So this all happens while you're coming down, right? But you're not supposed to let them see this. That's the thing, like, okay. One more time. You write it down, you have the deck, you pick it back up. This is facing you, so they can't see it. Now you're supposed to say, I don't know, now I'm gonna return this back to you. As I'm bringing this prediction down, so awkwardly you go from here to, all right, so now we're gonna turn this over, I'm gonna give this back to you. You're gonna clip this card away, and then this actually gets passed underneath onto the prediction. You're going to grab it, okay, and the deck is still up here. They're not supposed to see, ideally, the card being passed from the deck to here. You have the card now located underneath, and the prediction is right above it. So they're kind of right there next to each other. Quick coffee break. Number 4, hand the deck to the spectator and ask them to deal you any card without looking at it face down onto the pad. Step 5, in the following motion, it will appear that you simply take the dealt card from the pad at the same time as turning it face up to show the prediction. Oh, have them stop at whatever card they want. Maybe have them deal it onto the table. Then the card that they want to stop in, it's gonna be a random card. You don't even know what this card is, you don't need to. It's gonna be the random card, have them stop on top of the book. Once it's on here, this is separate from everything else, so now it really looks hands off. You have no control over what's going on here. There's only one in play. So now what the next instructions say is, you're going to grab this card and essentially show, like turn it around, but kind of like in my any card at any number routine, when you're taking, hold on. Okay, there we go. Once it's at the top, I go to peel it, then I separate it out. I still have the piece of paper, but the card that they dealt is right here on top. This card is on top. When you're going to peel this off, you're actually going to be turning this over. While you're turning it over, peel the selection off, keep it leveled, kind of in the same area it would be as if the card were coming straight from the top. So it's never really changing places. Everything else is moving around it. Right there, and it looks, I mean, even in slow motion, that looks pretty good. Now you're in this position. I think I've got it. We're gonna run from top to bottom with all my thoughts collected, because now I think it's gonna make a little more sense instead of me rambling, complaining, and not knowing how any of this works out. Having learned this trick less than an hour ago, this is how it works. The spectator has a deck of cards, they just randomly shuffle it. You take it back from them, pretend to inspect. I'm gonna use the 6 of clubs. Again, all I'm concerned with is the bottom card. I'm gonna put the deck back down on the table. They're standing kind of away from me, so I haven't given them the deck back. I need to save that for a maneuver here in a sec. I'm gonna write down 6 of clubs. Can you hold the pen for me, please? All right, so after I've written the 6 of clubs, I'm gonna turn this over so they cannot see it. I'm gonna turn this back over, and then I'm gonna grab the deck of cards because I've not given it to them yet. I need a reason to give it to them, but I need to also take the 6 of clubs. So as you're talking to them, you're gonna get your ring finger in position to pull this away from the rest of the deck. You're gonna tell them, I have a prediction. Keep the deck back here because you need to make this motion to get rid of this card, but you don't wanna make it look suspicious. You wanna give yourself motivation and reason to do this. Take the deck, to separate this out back here. Then you're going to pass the deck to them, ask them to hang on to it, but I've actually taken that 6 of clubs. Give them the deck. Now this is the setup. They're gonna deal however many cards they want onto the table, but ask them wherever they stop, the card that they wanna stop at, place it here. So it's the only card that gets put on the actual deck. Randomly pick a card. This card goes on the pad. Now at this point, walk them through, remind them what you did. When you're going to turn this over, you're actually going to flip the entire book with the card that they actually selected, and you're gonna peel this card away from the bottom. Well, then you're gonna say, I wrote something in trying to predict what you were going to select. This is the 6 of clubs. 6 of clubs. You've still got this dirty card underneath here, so don't worry about that. Then they're going to look, they're gonna turn this over, and they're gonna see it's a 6 of clubs, and now you have a little miracle. Why was that so difficult? That shouldn't have been as difficult. Well, that was fun. It's definitely a good little breakaway from going out and exploring coffee shop. That's fun as well, but sometimes you just need to stay home and actually relax a little bit. Learn something new. So I will leave you all with that. Let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed this and if I should do it again, because I certainly will. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and we will see you guys in the next video.